everyone, it's Melody with Design by Melody here today to share just a quick video about how to do some hidden journaling. I have a couple pages in my albums throughout the years that I have done some hidden journaling on. This is one of my favorite methods, and I'll also show you a couple other ones. But this is a layout I did a few days ago, I guess a couple weeks ago now, that had a tiny bit of journaling here, but before I went to go put it in my album, I was looking at it and I decided I actually want to add a little bit more journaling. And since the front part is already complete, it doesn't really fit into the design of the layout, so I'm going to add it onto the back, which will make it an interactive layout in my album. So here's the back of the paper. It's got some dust on it from when I did the heat embossing on the front. But what we're actually going to do is just mount a 3x4 journaling card up here at the top to where it can be pulled out and read and then reinserted. So what you need first is a piece of scratch paper. This is actually some Christmas paper from years and years and years ago that I still have. So I just use it. A journaling card and some washi tape. And so what I've done first is actually I used Pages on my Mac, created a 3x4 box, and it's actually like 3.1 times 4.1. So whenever I do lay this on here, it just fits right outside. You can see it. Then I created a text box within that box and typed up my journaling. Now I usually like to use gray ink just so it's not quite so harsh on the page. And then you print it out on a piece of scratch paper. Then using washi, as you can see here, I mount this right in the center of it. And as you can see, this has a little bit of a design on top, so I could tell that this is lined up fine to where it's not going to print on top of that design. And then use washi to adhere it down and run it through my printer again. But before I run it through the second time, I actually go in and delete this outside box so it doesn't print it on top of it, just in case for some reason it feeds slightly crooked into the printer. I don't want to print that extra box onto my journaling card. Now this is not something that I came up with. I believe Stephanie Bryan came up with it from Two Peas in a Bucket, but I'm really not sure. It was quite a while ago that I saw this, so I just wanted to share it. So now I have my printed journaling here, and I want to mount this right up here on the corner. This will bring a little bit more attention to this top corner where I have this white circle embossed. You could very easily do it on this side, but I felt like it would make this a little too heavy. So I'm going to put it over here, and it's just going to add a little bit more weight to this corner, and it ties in because it's white, which is what is on the page. One last thing I do want to mention, because this is going to be an interactive card that's pulled in and out, pay attention to what's on the back. If you don't like it, back it with a piece of white paper so you don't see this element, but this actually fits in. Not necessarily the and sign, but the gray and the white actually fits into my layout, so I'm going to leave it the way it is. That's actually from a Project Life mini set from Becky Higgins. I believe it's the wedding set. In case you're interested, it's this one, the wedding edition. 100 cards. It's the mini kit. So just in case you're interested in where this card came from, it came from there. Alright, so we're going to mount this on the back. So the first thing you do is just line it up exactly how you want it. Using washi tape again. Just tack it on right there. We are going to remove that, so that's not a big deal. I just want to keep this card in place while we add our little pocket on the back. And what you need for this is some foam tape, scratch piece of paper, and some scissors. So essentially we're going to put foam tape around it and put this right on top so it creates a pocket for that card to slide in and out. So I don't really need foam tape quite this thick, so I'm going to cut it in half. Roughly measure however much you need. I actually don't need quite that much, so I'm going to cut that off, and I'll use that in just a moment. I'm just going to cut this right down the center. I would advise using some scissors that are not your favorite pair of scissors because it can gum them up. Now, this card is adhered down, so I'm just going to make sure it doesn't move here. Hold it, and then you're going to put the foam tape right around it. I like to leave a little bit like 1/8 of an inch border, and I do use the side against the card that I did not cut. That way, just in case I didn't cut straight, it doesn't have a hang up, a place for that to get hung up on. Like right here, there's a little extra little notch. Put it on the outside, that way as this card goes in and out, it doesn't get hung up on there. Then you're going to do the same thing down here and create a bottom border. Since I actually have this piece left, I'm going to go ahead and use it. And you want this bottom one to be pretty close because you have already measured how far down you want this to go. Right, there we go. I would suggest having these solid pieces. The bottom doesn't matter so much, it's just a stopper. But the sides are where you want it to go smoothly up and down. So now we're going to take off the back of those foam pieces and just put this paper on top, and that's what keeps the pocket secure. I did the same thing on a layout I just previously did, titled He's Growing Up So Fast, but my video camera actually cut off right before I did this, so I wanted to make sure I shared this with you in case you like to do additional journaling or have private journaling that you don't want on your layout. So then just flip it back over, remove your bit of washi tape here, and there we go. And then now you have your little pocket. So this card can move around just slightly, but that's fine. You want it to be able to be easily removed. So it just comes out in and out right there, just like that. And just to see the back, it just goes in and out very easily. Now I always leave mine about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch above the page so it's easy to see. If you don't like this piece popping out, you can also add a little tab right here to designate that there is something there to pull out. So now I'm actually going to show you a couple other examples of how I use this as well as a few other methods for adding hidden journaling. First, I'll show you one that's just like this, where I actually used a tab instead. So you can see the difference here. This one sticks up, this one just has a tab that sticks up instead of actually seeing the card. But it's essentially the same thing. It's a little card, it's just got a little tab on top. It's the same type of thing here. Just a scratch piece of paper on the back. So that's another one exactly the same way as that one. Then I have the same style, same type of thing with cards, but they're on the page instead of on the back of the page. And this one I did the same thing where you add the dimensional adhesive to create a pocket. I just did it behind a photo. So I've got it right here. And then this one is actually in a little envelope where I cut off the side to create a pocket. And I will say I actually prefer the one with the dimensional adhesives a little bit better. This one always gets a little hung up just on the flap from where I sealed the envelope. It's not impossible, but I do prefer this other one better. So those are two examples of how to do the same pocket style on the actual scrapbook page. Now, I have two that are a little bit different. These actually are two different layouts where I use hidden journaling on the actual layout, but on a flap. So this one is here, up under this one. It's a journaling card hidden under here. And then this one actually says lift and is journaling under here. So the pictures lift up and there's journaling. And if I had a lot to write, I could write all the way up here, all the way down. But I just have it right here. And again, it just says lift. Alright, so those are two more styles. And then the last one I want to show you is the most difficult to get to whenever it's actually in a scrapbook album, and it's the envelope style. And these are things that I am going to write to my kids. There'll be letters, and I got the idea from Nicole Jones 911 whenever she mentioned doing it on her scrapbook album, so I thought it was a fantastic idea. to have little notes to the kids in here. And those are really things that, I mean, it doesn't really matter to me if other people read them, but they're really supposed to be for them, so they're a little bit more difficult to get into. But this one I actually drew a little bit of attention to it by stamping on it. And then this one actually says, letter to Kaylin, and there'll be a letter in here. I have not written the letter yet, so this is still sitting out in my scrap room, so I don't put it up until I do, but it will go right here. And this one actually has the little tie. It definitely is a lot more difficult to get to, but that's it. So those are four different styles of adding hidden journaling to your page. Of course, you can always put journaling on top, and this one did actually have journaling on top as well as hidden journaling, both tied together. So there's definitely a lot of options for you. Hopefully I'll have some more ideas and things to share with you soon. Please visit my blog at www.designbymelody.com for more ideas, more photos, and then also, if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel so I know what you like and what you want more of. Thank you for joining me today, guys. Bye. Bye.